I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs blown. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make the man and some pressure make a gemstone. Trying to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Niger boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. And I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, I'm scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Van Gogh. Get it from my mama, hip so thick that I need tempo. Personality spicy, body banging like a bongo. Cause black women been it since Timbuktu, since Pharaoh. Sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones. If you ain't for the culture, then please stay out of my zone. These little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones. See, I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there. If you want the battle, ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience, I can't even play fair. But I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing. You need endurance to go in, I got mileage on this pen. I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, Arthur.
Chloe, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Judgment, Arthur.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, boss. I love it when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to be here with you guys at Night Court. Yeah, Seth, I was off for a couple of days, just kind of recharging a little bit. And then also, going over some of these cases. There's a lot coming out. I can't believe how much is coming out. I can hardly keep up with most of it. There was a new JLR Magnolia call, and a couple of the creators are really pulling out all the stops to cover that case. So hats off to them. I don't want to cover it too much, but I do think it's important, and I'm grateful for those who are. So hey, Chuchi, and thank you so much, Chuchi, for putting in the disclaimers as always. And I know you're not feeling good tonight or just tired. Like I said, it's just been nonstop, really. And hello, little Miss Sharon. So good to see you, little Miss Sharon. And Holly is here. Hey, Holly, thank you so much for your super chat or sticker, I think it was. But thank you very much for that. And little Miss Sharon says, "Here we go. We're fighting the good fight." And it's good to see you, Seth, too. Thank you for being here. I've seen these dads, they're on fire lately. I mean, there's a bunch of dads coming out, speaking out for their kids, not happy with the status quo, right? It's not good enough for these dads. And we saw Seth out there. 2 years is too long. Sebastian's been missing for too long. And he was out there. He's been out there fighting for Sebastian, and it's just um, as good as it is to see, it's also very sad. And hello, my PTSD. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. And thank you also for your super sticker. That was very sweet of you. And, these dads are just kicking butt, right? And taking names, and they're not going to let up. We did an earlier live stream this afternoon. So if you haven't had a chance to catch it on the replay, definitely watch it. We'll go over some of the same things tonight just because I didn't get this audio yet, or actually it's kind of more of a speech by one of the dads that stood up at the board meeting. So I'll read you guys a little bit about the board meeting, but then you can hear from the dad. It kind of goes hand in hand with what he's saying at the board meeting, right? So, hello, Cinderella, and Seth says, "Now I'll have to leave the army here and help find other missing children." Yeah, I know, Seth, and I mean, I don't blame you if you were to take off and go to the moon once you find Sebastian. I would understand that completely. Hey, Marion, it's just really sad that so much has been coming out as of late, just pertaining to all of this crazy stuff against kids. And then with Haley Busby's story, she's a 17-year-old out of Indiana who was lured out of her house. She had been talking to a guy for over a year, and he had been grooming her, taking her into different uh, websites. We're familiar with Discord. We use it in a positive way, or try to. Public forums are difficult to manage, but especially for kids, it can be very hard for them to navigate through them when they have Chester cheetahs in their midst, right? And I do have to downplay it, right? But Chester molester, got it, right? So you'll hear me say it or refer to it as that. I really hate that I have to do that, but my hands are tied. It's amazing how many stories come out like this, and we're not allowed to talk about it in a serious manner, which it deserves. So for that, I get a little bit spicy with it. You guys know me. I'll be quite sarcastic and silly when I want to be. But the subject matter is very serious that we talk about. Hello, Bo. So good to see you, and thank you for being here. Hey, Valley Gal. Pretty sure I would have to ask Elon, right? Exactly. Oh my gosh, I have no desire to get up that high. I can't even get in an airplane. Who am I kidding? So, oh, and good to see you. Thank you for being here. Um, the moon is too close to stupid still. It's the radiation belt doesn't take care of stupid. Oh well. High hopes, I guess. So Fido the pedo in the wood chippo. Oh my gosh. Well, if you missed earlier today, hopefully it's the same ad. Oh no, actually that was on the Fox 17 article that I read. There was literally ads for the wood chipper. I'm not kidding you when we're talking about this dude over here that was showing pictures or showed a picture of himself to a little girl in classroom, right? And this all happened in Clarksville, Tennessee. So we'll get into that too, right? Because I think it all kind of goes together in a strange way. I don't think Sebastian was lured away. I don't. I don't think that he was involved in internet activities to the point where it would have been or it would have played a part in his disappearance. That's just my understanding and my feelings on the subject. But I think just the fact that children don't just poof and disappear, right? We usually will find where they are, especially if there's a digital footprint. With Sebastian, we don't have that, unfortunately. Um, and one of my viewers was nice enough, and I know that she was trying to get a hold of law enforcement about a possible sighting. I did send that over to you too, Seth. I don't think it is a positive match. But you know, the fact that they're not looking at every lead is a little troubling. I mean, more than a little troubling, it ticks me off. Um, yeah, we need to have a whole wood chipper island. Hello, Sandy, good to see you. No flying for you. We're not gonna fly next week to Florida. Yeah, well, and I mean, I totally or she says we're gonna fly next week to Florida. You know, I guess I would do it if I had to, but I would rather just rent a car, because but although it's so much faster to fly, so much less. But then again, with TSA shutdowns, I don't know. I think it's probably better to rent a car from what they've been showing on the news lately. Um, so I do want to start with this gym. Well, I'm sorry, not a gym teacher. He's a science teacher, and he uh, showed himself here. Let me pull. Actually, let me pull this up first. Let me do this because I would rather pull this up so you guys can see and we can listen to some of the reasons and what's going on. Um, let's see here. In this case, and I had it pulled up earlier. There's me. Okay, Clarksville. Okay. So I know the schools, and we talked about it earlier today, are a part of the union. So it would be nice, in my opinion, if maybe this father can get a hold of the union and see if there's not other steps that can be taken for this. So bear with me here, and we'll go over this part. So, really quick. So, CMCSS School Board faces criticism after teacher admits showing nude photos to a student. Community members pressed the CMCSS board for transparency Tuesday, the first meeting since a teacher admitted showing nude photos of himself to a 17-year-old girl. Student, right? This was just out, right? Yesterday, March 24th. And the attendees are holding signs up toward the board at the CMCSS formal school board meeting on March 24th, 2026. Right. And the signs read, your silence is deafening. Protecting predators makes you a predator. Crossed out the Epstein list, CMCSS list, and then it says all of the different instances where children were feeling uncomfortable. The father is going to talk about this later on, and I think this is super important. I would like to know more about it, and if her father would like to come up and talk about it on my show, he's more than welcome to. I'm less intimidating than bigger channels, and I would love to know more about the subject. Also, one parent says drain the CMCSS swamp, right? And this one back here says, this is not the first cover up. We stand with our kids. So very concerning that they feel like this is not the first cover up that's been done. But you should listen because a lot of this hoopla is surrounding this is, oh, this was an accident, right? This was something where the teacher was trying to show this child a project on his phone and he swipes over to a picture of his junk. Okay, so tensions run high at the Clarksville Montgomery County School Board meeting Tuesday, the first since it became public that a Montgomery Central High School teacher showed nude photos of himself to a 17-year-old student. The incident involves science teacher Matthew Gay Vetter, 52, who admitted to investigators that he showed the student photos but said it was an accident. According to previous reports, Vetter is married to the director of schools, Dr. Jean Luna Vetter. The district attorney's office requested that the case be handled by an outside judicial district. So the case was moved per the DA's office, moved elsewhere, and is being tried there. So, a tense atmosphere in the room. Several audience members held signs toward the board, and some booed when Dr. Luna Vetter and Rep. Aaron Mayberry spoke. Before public comment began, board chairman Chris Lanier, I'm not sure if I said that right or not, Lanier, reminded attendees of district policy prohibiting discussion of specific employees or students during open meetings while discipline processes are ongoing. And her father's going to speak more on that also. CMCSS has said it is holding off on its investigation and any potential disciplinary action until the criminal investigation is complete. Right? So this is where I'm going to play what her father has to say. I will read a little bit more on that, but let me go here and share this. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me switch this. There we go. Okay, really quick, I'll read this as well. A scandal is unfolding in Clarksville, Tennessee, where Montgomery Central High School, and that's where you'll see them referring to that school district as well. But Montgomery Central High School teacher, who is also the husband of a school director, is under investigation for allegedly showing inappropriate images to a female student during class. The incident has sparked widespread attention and concern, with many calling for swift action. According to reports, the investigation is still ongoing and details about the allegations are limited. The school administration has not publicly commented on the matter, but local news outlets are closely following the story. The community is shaken by the news, and many are questioning the safety and supervision measures in place at the school. As the investigation continues, residents are looking for answers and demanding accountability. Oh, sorry, guys. The drama has exploded in recent days, with social media platforms like TikTok buzzing with updates and reactions. There was a post from 931 Seville, a local news outlet, and has garnered a significant engagement. So people are definitely interested in this subject. They want to make sure that it doesn't happen to their kids. Okay, and so we have this idiot, Josh Wiki, and he says the student seems to think it was an accident. The sheriff's department thinks it was an accident. It appears all parties believe it was an accident. Well, her father isn't saying it was an accident, so let's watch.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I wish it were under better circumstances, but I'm coming to the board today to ask for your help. I was told I'm not permitted to discuss anything that is currently under active investigation, so I will speak generally despite the fact that CMCSS is not currently investigating what happened to my daughter. But we will allow due process in the hopes that you all are taking the appropriate actions to prevent this from happening to someone else's child. Instead, today, I want to speak with you about student safety and the general investigations that occur. I didn't really want to be up here tonight. I think most parents would agree that we'd much rather just trust that our kids are safe at school and go about our lives. But right now, I can't say that I feel that way. What happened to my child should never happen in any classroom. I understand there's an investigation going on. I understand there are procedures, but what's been just as difficult as the incident itself is everything that comes after, or honestly, what hasn't come after. There's been silence. My daughter's situation has been known about since March 9th. That's not yesterday.
Wow. Did you hear what he just said, guys? My daughter's situation happened on March 9th, not yesterday. Ugh, unbelievable. And then you have all of the speculation because they choose not to come out and speak on it.
That's not last night. That's enough time for someone to stand up and say, we see this, we take it seriously, here's what we're going to do. And instead, families are left trying to piece together on their own. And I've come to learn we're not the only family who has experienced this treatment in this district. We shouldn't have to dig for answers when it comes to our kids. There's something else that really needs to be said. Children may be questioned about serious situations without their parents even knowing or being privy to. I want you to hear this clearly, that is not okay. If a child is dealing with something serious, upsetting, or something they don't fully understand, parents need to be involved. Not later, not after the fact. My daughter or any other child shouldn't have to carry that alone. And parents shouldn't be the last ones to know. That's not how you build.
Well, and I'll rewind it a little bit because I don't mean to cut this gentleman off, but I have to say that it does appear that they didn't tell the parents right away, allegedly, from what I can gather. It does appear that they didn't tell the parents, left his daughter to sit with this. These allegations were discussed without his knowledge, without any type of support for the victim. That's unacceptable. And the fact that they have not seen, we haven't seen anything about this. I mean, I just saw it. I believe this all came out obviously yesterday, but there was also something from the 17th I found earlier today, and we read over that. And I think it might still be in this video. I tried to kind of put some of it in there too. But it's ridiculous, right? I mean, it's like they kept it quiet, and then they almost made her feel, well, yeah, it's shame. That's what I take it as, Holly, is that, she's having to feel shame on her for telling. It was an accident. Why are you making a big deal out of it? Not okay, right? And I believe that he never should have been showing her his phone at all. Like, for what? What for? No good reason. If it's about school, keep it on the school computers where everybody can see what's going on.
Build trust with families. That's not how you build trust in this community. That's how you break it. And right now, my trust and faith in the district to do the right thing for my children is shattered. We send our kids to these schools every day, believing they're going to be safe, that the adults in charge are going to do the right thing when something isn't. That belief depends on honesty. It depends on communication. It depends on people being willing to step forward when something serious happens. That's you, this school board. Right now, I feel like that's missing. And silence says a lot about this board. Even when nothing is being said, it feels like parents are being intentionally kept in the dark, and that protecting the district's image comes before protecting the kids. That's a hard thing to sit with as a parent.
It sure is. That they're more worried about their image and keeping things in the dark than they are about standing up for what's right. Because we think that we're sending kids to school and so that they can help us instill good and positive routines and learn about history, whatever. It doesn't even matter. I mean, they're not there to teach our children how to keep secrets from us or do things to our children and terrify them and traumatize them and tell them it's their fault if they tell. No, absolutely not. And it absolutely seems to me like what this father is saying nicely, calmly, rationally, because I don't know if I could do it, is he's saying that they kept this in the dark. That's what I'm hearing.
This isn't just about my child anymore. Since this came out, other families have reached out and shared their concerns. Some have said their kids were uncomfortable before this. Some have said they've been more comfortable after. Speaking up and hearing those voices and what happens is what matters. Those voices have been ignored. There were signs before this. Were they taken seriously? They were not. Were they handled quietly? They were. If students were moved, classes changed, situations arose over a teacher, and concerns were raised, if families weren't told, that's a problem. If these situations didn't end up in an employee file, that's a problem. And it's one that deserves real attention. That is why transparency matters so much. This is why timing matters. This is why leadership matters. And right now we are dealing with a broken leadership that I am standing in front of. And I'll be honest right now, it doesn't feel like that we're seeing that leadership. When something this serious happens, families need to know the process is fair. They need.
Yeah, leadership is doing the right thing. Leadership is standing up and leading the way, not just going with it because you're friends with somebody or you like them. No, that's not a leader. Not at all. Not at all. It's quite the opposite. Hey, Kiki, good to see you. And Sasha says because of school would have called Seth and then CPS, Sebastian would have been gathering his stuff and it would have been, will you give me or we will give you a call, excuse me, Katie, in a few weeks, maybe. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that's absolutely where it fits in as well with Sebastian's case. It's across the board, this failure to do the right thing. And it's awful. And these kids are the ones being hurt by this. I mean, who knows if this little girl wants to go back to school or not? I certainly wouldn't want to. The school knew about Seth. They had to tell CPS, so something happened. She didn't go to see Seth. Yeah, I don't know, Sandy. I don't know. I think Katie deliberately did that as well. I mean, I do. Hey, Brad, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sasha says exactly. Seth would have been like, oh, hell no. No, I know. I agree. I agree. And that's the thing about keeping these things quiet. You know, oh, we'll do you a favor. We know you're a nice family, you know, type of a thing. That's crazy. There's another teacher male in Knoxville, Tennessee, 2 days ago, worse than this, unfortunately. So was it the one, no, I'm sorry, that was Hendersonville. So there was one in Knoxville too, Kiki? Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying. Every time we turn around, I said that to someone in the comments. Oh, and I had one asshole in my comment section. And since they like to be, you know, get some credit and attention for something, I'm going to make a short about that person. Cinderella says every day there's a case like this in the news. Every day, Cinderella. And, you know, I hate to keep focusing on this area, but the more and more we do the research around the area, right, the more we're realizing that there's a lot going on in CPS, in the local police department, and then these police officers become a teacher and start touching girls where they're not supposed to even, you know, let's just refrain from hugging and everything. How's that? Let's just make it a point not to hug the kids, okay? Because it's weird and it's unnecessary. Honestly, it makes me sick. You know, very high-end high school, really, Kiki. It doesn't surprise me because I don't think it's even has to do with demographics. I think it has more to do with just these people that are in a position of power, or they're preying on these positions where they know that they're going to be authority over children, and it's not for anything to help them grow or teach them or anything like that. It's all for nefarious purposes, which I hate to think of it like that, but you have to, especially when it's being allowed for in these classrooms. I mean, this happened at school. This happened in the classroom. And I just can't for the life of me figure out why these teachers are showing these kids things off of their cell phones. It's very inappropriate, to say the least, Kiki, I had to block that one a long time ago. I couldn't. I just couldn't with that one. Way too knows way too much for being where they're located, type of a thing. You know what I mean? Did you get my email about Mob with Gen C? I don't think so, Sandy. I know I got one of your emails today. I kind of got through a couple of them, and then I had to stop because I wanted to quick make a video, because I saw Haley's dad on the news, but I will check again too. There were 2 or 3 bodies about a year ago on the same road in Memphis, one beheaded. Really? Oh, Sasha. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh my. Wow. They do groom a Cinderella. They do. And that's the weird part about them stalking the victim, in my opinion. Because I know they call it grooming for a reason, because that's what it's leading up to, them gaining the trust and blah, blah, blah. But it is. I feel like it's more serious than that. It's like they're just preying upon these young girls. Again, there's something wrong with society that allows for the type of rhetoric that involves waiting till a young lady is 18. I mean, these kids are not adults. They're just not. And I know that they do countdowns and stuff for like celebrities. That's what I'm talking about. And it's wrong, Yes, Brad. Yes. And we talked about that because there was a case where a mom actually put an app on her child's phone. It's called the Sentry app. And what it does is you can put keywords in, or it searches keywords that are being used. And that's how she found out that her son was being groomed. And also, she was a Chester molester and went all the way with this young man. And his mother found out very shortly after, because of this app. The teacher was repeatedly calling him baby, 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 and it was flagging every time and sending it to the mom, and she was getting notifications about it. So, yeah, I mean, Brad says it was not like that when I was in school. I don't remember it being so prevalent, but then again, I don't know if people were just brushing it under the rug, and people are so sick and tired of it now because it's caused so many problems in our society. We see how it really hurts a person. It doesn't matter if it's a boy, a girl, it doesn't matter who you are. It's a violation of trust. It's a violation of who they think that person is. And as Cinderella's saying, they groom these kids into thinking that they're trustworthy, that they care about them, some of them that they love them. It's horrible. It's horrible, Kiki. It really is. It is. And these predators have nothing more really than to, I mean, there's no help for them. Again, wood chipper. That's it.
To know that influenced by relationships or internal connections, otherwise people start to question everything. And right now there are a lot of questions that this community wants answers to. I am asking this board to step up, say something, not in a statement that gets passed around, but in a way families can actually hear it in this community. These tax-paying dollars is what gives you jobs and gives you the rights to be here. Make it clear that parents will be notified. Make it clear that student safety comes first every time. At the end of the day, this is really simple. If kids don't feel safe, they don't learn. If parents don't trust the district, that relationship is gone. Our kids deserve to feel safe when they walk into school. They deserve adults who action when something isn't right. They deserve a system that listens. Right now, this community is watching every move that you make and let you know that the eyes are upon you board members, but in a way that shows every parent here that childs matter, because if our kids aren't safe, nothing else matters.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So they were calling it a photo fumble, which I got really, heated about earlier today. Not a good look for anyone calling it that. I don't believe that for a minute. Cinderella says, I have a couple stories. The seventh grade PE teacher used to come in the locker room and watch us all shower. Like, a lot of those gym teachers were pretty creepy. I will say that, Bo. I hear you. So she says, Cinderella, yes, the school PE teachers, right? Yeah. And the thing is you have to tell them that you're uncomfortable. I had to tell one of them that I was uncomfortable. I said, you could talk to me after I'm done dressing. And I got in really big trouble. And my parents came to the school and they were like, too bad. So go my parents, but that's weird because I had forgot about that until you mentioned that, Cinderella. Yeah, they are creepy, aren't they? Sometimes. Ugh, but I mean, I don't believe this guy it was an accident. I really don't. I never will. I never will. So this is his wife, just letting everybody know who she is. Since she didn't want to do anything about what her husband was doing in the school. And just so you guys all know, they make quite a bit of money to be acting this way. So the director was hired at 225,000, right? A little bit less than the last year, but that's when she was brought in. The Clarksville Montgomery County School Board has approved a contract for the next school director, Jean Luna Vetter. So there you go. And, it's very sad that they did not do anything when this all happened, that now it's spilling out. But that's what happens when you sweep things under the rug. It comes out the other side, right? And something needs to be done about it. It cannot just continue on and on like this. It just can't. And again, if you'd like to hear what this father has said, his entire speech is on a separate video. So please share that out. I think his voice needs to be heard. I think it's super important that we don't allow for this type of behavior anywhere, if we know about it. We just cannot. We cannot. Yeah, that's who I'm talking. I'm talking about a lady coach. Kiki, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, mm-mm. If a teacher, and that's the thing, if they're making you feel uncomfortable, you have got to say something, even if you're gonna get in trouble, whatever. Because the minute that you tell your parents that, I mean, hopefully they'll back you, but yeah, you just can't allow for that. And it wasn't anything like a big deal. It was just that I was tired of her doing that every day. So I said something. Imagine that with my mouth. Anyway, our driver's ed teacher used to touch our leg. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh, Holly did that for decades for what I hear from the other students. Yeah, and the thing is they get away with it. They get away with it. And it's like how many kids out there have to deal with that for how many years, and then they're looked at like a pillar of society when really they're a Chester cheetah. That's so horrible. Really? He did finally get arrested? Oh, good. And then passed away shortly after of old age. Go figure. I mean, and that is just like that, and it's everywhere. It is everywhere. It is. Oh gosh. Oh, Bo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. See, that's what we were talking about earlier, Kiki. Kiki says it's gotten so much worse in my opinion. That's what we were talking about that earlier. Like, is it getting worse or is there just more information coming at us? Like I don't know what the deal is. It's tough to know. I'm like, is it because the information's traveling so much faster? Um, do they have more access because of the internet? Because even I was also watching earlier, Law and Crime did a story about the Duggars and was going over the timeline with Josh Duggar and saying that he was using like a way to get onto the dark web so that he can receive the different types of um, child essay, material that he was getting. And basically, he was hiding it that way so you couldn't really see it, but the police were able to find it. I think they were calling it like a partition or a wall or something like that. I don't know. But I guess it's easier for them to share things like that as well, through the internet, you know? That's right, exactly. They're the ones to blame, no one else. And this poor girl had to sit with this for so long, and obviously her dad is not okay with it. Um, it's just so sad. Really, the driver ed teachers, huh? See, we didn't have like a driver's ed teacher per se. We just had to have so many hours worth, which I'm glad we didn't have to go through that. Lady, I don't know if you saw, but I sent you a clip from the news on the Knox man. Oh, okay. Did you send it to my email? Let me see, because I do have it pulled up. Let's see. No, I didn't get it, Kiki. Did you send it to my phone, maybe? Aw, let's see. Oh, and if Seth is in here, thank you for sharing that other flyer as well, Seth. I appreciate that. Bo says, true lady, back in the day, we didn't have internet and didn't know much of what was going on in the world, so it seems worse now. But when I look back now, I think it's gotten worse, but not much. Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm wondering if it has or not, Bo. I mean, that's one thing that I was kind of like, well, maybe we're just seeing more of it, but I don't know. Um, so yeah, and they're preverbs. They're total preverbs, and they have no good reason to want to be around or, be with any of these little kids for any reason. They should be showing their phones. Um, oh, hurry back, little Miss Sharon. She's got to get her horses. Oh, it's raining. Oh no. Yet before I started my channel, I wasn't really aware of much. Well, I mean, I think we see a lot of it too on here. But man, they've caught a lot of people this year alone. They really have. So maybe they're doing more sting operations or something like that. Um, Let me go ahead. Oh, you did. Okay, let me see if I can't pull that over. Um, Hold on one second, Kiki, because I'll get it on my other phone. Send it to myself. Let's see. And some of these people look normal, and that's the scariest part to me, too. I'm like, that's so weird. All right, here we go. Oh, did I not? Okay. All right, guys, let me pull this in. Thanks, Kiki, for sending that to me. Let me see here. Let me stop this one. Okay, here we go. So I got this, and this is out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh. All right, just bear with me. I'm going to pull it up right here.
A man from Knoxville is facing sexual battery charges involving children.
10 News reporter Andrew McClung joins us to explain what more we are learning tonight about the man facing serious charges. His name is Douglas Peak. Andrew.
Yeah, JB and Robin, Knoxville police say they arrested 48-year-old Douglas Peak on Monday evening at his home in Sequoia Hills, following a months-long investigation that led authorities to seek an indictment against him on charges involving children.
A new indictment accuses 48-year-old Douglas Peak of 5 counts. Authorities allege the incidents happened in 2023 and 2024. Peak faces 2 counts of aggravated sexual battery and 3 counts of invasion of privacy or peeping of a victim under the age of 13. Authorities say the investigation began following allegations through the Department of Children's Services.
Oh, wow. So he was part of, did I hear that right? He's was being investigated by Children and Family Services also?
At Peak had inappropriately touched numerous children on sports teams he coached. Peak was active in the Knoxville community as a coach and volunteer DJ. 10 News interviewed Peak back in 2020, where he was known for involvement in his Sequoia Hills neighborhood. Neighbors I spoke with say they're shocked by the allegations, but court documents show the subject of inappropriate behavior has come up before about Peak. Last year, Peak and his wife sued several people for defamation, seeking damages.
Wow. So let's see. I stopped it here. It looks like some of it's redacted. Douglas Peak and Allison Peak. Plaintiffs doesn't show who the defendants were. Douglas and Allison submit this complaint for damages and such other relief as is property against the defendants for their false and defamatory statements regarding Mr. Peak and other related torts as set forth below. The plaintiffs are 2 individuals residing in Knox County. All 3 individual defendants reside in Knox County. Jurisdiction and venue. This court has jurisdiction over this matter pursuant to Tennessee Code, and it gives it as the events giving rise to this complaint occurred within the state of Tennessee. Venue is proper in this court under Tennessee Code because, among other reasons, the defendants reside in this jurisdiction. So it doesn't go into anything there. But it looks like they did try to sue because people were complaining of his misconduct.
Alleged people made up lies about him, such as that he'd given children melatonin during sleepovers at the Peak's home and that he skinny dipped with girls.
What? Gave them melatonin at a sleepover? What the heck? In $1 million home? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The Peak's defamation lawsuit is ongoing in Knox County. His attorney, Jonathan Cooper, issued a statement to WBIR on his behalf that says, in part, Mr. Peak has been an upstanding and contributing member of the Knoxville community for his entire life.
Oh, what I tell you, a pillar of the community. A pillar of the community, whatever.
He has a spotless record. He categorically denies the allegations made in this case and looks forward to vigorously defending the charges in court. Once all the evidence is presented, we are confident he will be vindicated.
Wood chipper.
Now, we have also reached out to the coaching leagues that Peak was alleged to have been involved in and are awaiting a statement. County jail records show he's in custody, but when he's released, conditions require that he wears GPS monitoring.
Andrew
would hope
McClung with what
so.
we know tonight on that.
I would hope so. I would hope. Thanks, Kiki, for sending me that. I would hope that they would monitor his ass and make sure that he's not around any more children or melatonin for that matter. Good grief. Yeah, sleepovers at his house. And that he was he wasn't wearing any clothes and when he went in the pool. I'm trying to figure out how to say it, guys. YouTube hates me right now because I've been covering all this. They absolutely hate me for this. And that's fine. Loaded with money, and that's where the billionaires live. Oh my gosh. So if you're rich, you get a pass. I think not. I'm telling you this, it's all about that money, 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 right? I mean, oh my. What a horrible, horrible thing there. That is terrible. Hello, Kylie Ray. Good to see you. Wow. Yes, exactly. I don't know if we could say, and then all the words that we say, Kiki, it just makes it sound silly when we talk. I hate that so much. It just makes me sick to my stomach that these people can carry out such horrific acts, but we can't, say what it is. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So I mean, oh my gosh. I'm sure those other dads are just as furious as our 3 dads that we have tonight that we're talking about. Um, so they're all connected. They're all connected. And who was allowing for this? Because I'm sorry, but if I'm having a sleepover with little girls at my house, the husband is not going skinny dipping with the kids. Okay, just no way. Yes, it is, Tam. Money is the root of all evilness. Absolutely. It's terrible. It's terrible. What we're seeing in these schools, just in the schools alone. So very, very sad and uncalled for. There's no reason for any of this to be going on at all. I want to show you guys an update on Haley Busby just to give you guys a little bit of a recap on this because I know we've covered Haley's case here before. I know that they have given okay, I do want to show this one too. I'll probably show this one and make a video, but just for tonight and our all intents and purposes, if we have some new people in here that haven't followed Haley's case, we could just kind of do a little bit of a recap here with some news clips. Hold on one second. Sorry. I have to share it. All right, here we go.
A new bill aims to keep kids safe from adults online. That legislation would require parental consent to download some apps and also lock down chat rooms. Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout tells us that bill is rooted in tragedy.
On a snowy day in February, 17-year-old Haley Busby's body was found in Wayne National Forest in southern Ohio.
These predators, they do the devil's work by hiding behind irresponsible social media and messaging apps, games, and other platforms.
Investigators say she was abducted by a 39-year-old Ohio man after meeting on an online video game. Her father, Bo, is working with state house lawmakers to prevent another tragedy.
The Haley's Law, it turns unimaginable pain into protection for our other children.
I mean, such a strong man. What a good dad. We need the dads. We need the men to stand up. We do. I've said this with Sebastian Rogers' case. We need the men to go searching. We need the men to stand up. We need to hear from the dads. I know it's hard, but this is really, really important. Hey, Witchy Mama. It's really important that we hear from the dads. And so Haley had met this old man, a geezer compared to her, on Roblox. And what he did was he took her off of Roblox and he said, let's go chat in Discord. And then from Discord, they went to a place called Sessions. And those are double encrypted on each side of the chat. So my side is encrypted. And say if I'm chatting with Kiki, so is hers. That means that the police cannot access these encrypted chats. So extremely dangerous. So extremely dangerous.
Columbus area Republican Michelle Reynolds has introduced a bill that would increase safety mechanisms for kids on gaming platforms, as well as require parental consent.
When an account is created on an app store or a gaming platform, the provider must verify the user's age, category, and if the user is a minor, that account must be linked to a verified parent account.
Okay, and the reason why they're taking this up in Ohio is because this is now a federal case because this Chester cheetah groomed Haley and he took her from her Indiana home and he brought her across state lines to Ohio where she was ultimately found deceased. And guys, this is hard. This one's so hard because, you know, you guys would be amazed how this little girl, Haley, this young lady, just resembles my daughter to a T. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Just big, beautiful smile, just such a beautiful girl, bright future. Ugh.
Many provisions, the bill would require age-appropriate school instruction on what grooming is, which is when an adult attempts to get close to a child in order to exploit them, as well as create a pink alert, an enhanced and wider spread Amber Alert notification.
Pink Alert looks at today's risks for missing people and applies those more quickly, more targeted.
Although supportive of this kind of idea, House Speaker Matt Huffman worries about the feasibility of parental monitoring software.
We can't walk in and say you're watching your kid's phone, because if you don't, I mean, the government doesn't have the means to, I don't think they have the constitutional authority.
Right. So we need the parents to really, really step up, right? We need these parents to just say no. No, that's not a good app. If it has chat capabilities, let's hold off. Now, what's really, really difficult about that is as children get older, right? 16, 17, it's such a hard age to manage cell phone usage. It really is, especially if your child has a job and they're independent and they're doing things out in the world and, you know, they're a good kid and you could trust them. It's just such a hard situation. I don't like hearing the word no when it comes to this. Such a beautiful girl, right, Kiki? I mean, why was she even speaking to him? I know. I'm assuming that he was better looking in his pictures. But I do know that she met him and she talked to him for so long. So long, a year and a little over a year. Um Oh, I know, Kiki. I know. I can't imagine. Kiki says, I get so tore up watching this stuff, makes me so paranoid and makes me so crazy protective over my kids. Yeah, my daughters always want to go to someone's home. And I said, not happening. I know. And it's terrible because you want them to be able to have a fun sleepover party and pizza and, cupcakes and everything and have a great time. And then, you also have to worry about who the parents are in the home and who they portray themselves to be. And then when you think of how easy it might be to trust someone who does have a great big house and is a member of society that is well known, it's almost a recipe for a disaster for a parent, because you could do absolutely every single thing right and you could still have a negative outcome where a predator will just get right in there. That's the tough part for any parent out there. But I think that they should. Another problem that I've heard many, many times that I do not like to hear, that's not a solution, right? It's you're giving me a problem. I have a problem and you're handing me another problem. I don't like that. I like the solutions, right? But another thing that I'm hearing a lot when it comes to Haley's Law is that, or excuse me, the pink alert specifically, which is attached to the law, yes. But just with the pink alert, they're saying that we don't want to have too many alerts going out because people might not listen to them if we keep pushing out the alerts and pushing out the alerts and pushing them out, right? I understand that. But I think that a pink alert is necessary, especially if the amber alert criteria is not met or the silver alert criteria is not met. Because I think that if a pink alert went out, and I hate saying, if this would have happened, then that wouldn't have happened. But I think that if she would have had a better chance, Haley specifically, and other girls like Haley or kids like Haley would have a better chance if we had the pink alert enacted so that way we can get more awareness out. I think it's very important. I think that if people knew and saw Haley, they could have called 911. They could have gotten her parents. I know her dad is the type of person that would be there to pick her up, no questions asked, immediately. But he didn't have the chance to, right? Because they were having to go through all this bureaucratic red tape bullshit. And the result is that this man had time enough to take her from place to place to place. He shouldn't have never had that time. I'm very passionate about it because it can help so many more children who have been abducted in this very way. Because when you have this digital footprint, it is not very difficult for the police to follow it and figure out who's got this child. The pink alert needs to be enacted. I mean, I don't know how long it will take. I do have a video I'm going to show you where progress is being made. Sasha says exactly 100% all highways should be shut down immediately during amber alerts. Well, and with this pink alert, they knew that she was taken. They knew very quickly, in my opinion, the authorities knew very quickly that Haley had been lured out of her house by someone, right? It's not like how Sebastian's case was, where I think they knew very quickly that he wasn't lured out of the house. In her case, they knew very quickly that she was. And there was a digital footprint all the way leading up to when he brought her onto the Sessions app where it's double encrypted. Which I didn't even know there were apps out there that were like that. I didn't. So, oh, I'm so sorry, Detroit. I know your guys' weather has been crazy up there, so I'm glad to see you. Thanks for being here. Um, and knowing that 90% of the missing children's cases are accidents at the home, however they occur, then the home would be considered a crime scene immediately, or for an abduction, or if the child left. I agree, and I think that they knew. Because when I did my first video for Haley, I just told her, "Come home, your family misses you," type of a thing. I wasn't sure, but from what I was gathering around, I could tell that she had run away. Um, Mostly because they said she left with a pink backpack, and I thought, okay, then she seemed to have packed something for her to leave, right? Thinking that she was going to go off with a man that she knows, that she cares for, trusts, she had been talking to for over a year. Um, you know, I agree. And no matter what, it's a potential crime scene, Sasha, 100%. Seth says, I believe the Amber Alert needs to be overhauled, period, which I'm also addressing in Sebastian's Law. Yeah, I know, Seth. And I think that's so important. I think all of the elements of Sebastian's Law would help tremendously in terms of how we view these Amber Alerts. Look, they act like it's such a daunting thing. I barely ever get Amber Alerts on my phone. Barely ever. As a matter of fact, the last alert I got was when I was in Tennessee, and it was a blue alert for a police officer that had been no, he had not been unalived, but somebody had tried to hurt him and take his life. I never once got an Amber Alert for anyone since then. That's the last one I got. So there, it absolutely has to be looked at as something that people want to know, people should be aware of, because time is of the essence. There's no time to wait. You're wasting time and letting this person take this little girl from one place to the next, or take this little boy from one place to the next. It's absolutely insane that they, oh, well, we don't want to bother people. We don't want them getting used to it. Well, you can't get used to something that goes really loud in your ear. I mean, that's an alert. Okay, then who's missing? What's happening? How can I help? Is there a license plate I should be looking out for? What is this child wearing? What do they look like? I mean, I think these Amber Alerts need to have a picture and everything. I barely ever get anything like that, and I'm set up for them. So, rumor has it that more little girls are coming forward concerning the Duggar family and others in and around the family and church. Ooh, really? Allegedly more arrests to come. So, Detroit, I did watch that update with Law and Crime. I forgot to mention, Jesse Weber was saying that Kendra isn't being charged with what her husband's being charged with, what Joseph is being charged with. I thought that was really weird. I don't know about that. The cousin is being accused now as well. Oh my gosh. I always thought that show was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was interesting because there was like this big family and they were like kind of strange, but an Amish in a way. I just remember being like a little Amish in a way. Um, Hello, the real me too. Good to see you. So yeah, that's interesting. Oh gosh. I mean, I don't even know how they had that many kids. Jesse was breaking it down tonight, Kiki, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember half of these names, but it's been a while since I've watched.
Companies have been fighting back for years against Ohio's attempts to restrict minors' access to social media.
We're also coming up against, well, what's constitutional when it comes to privacy rights and First Amendment speech and compelling and all of that.
But Reynolds says her bill is not about attacking technology or telling people what to do. It's just about catching Ohio's laws up to safeguard children and teens in the new digital age.
I can't change what happened to Haley. As her father, there are still moments daily when my mind and heart try to believe that I can, until that reality once again knocks me to my knees. But I can fight to make sure that Haley's story and her legacy helps to protect other children.
The bill was recently passed in Indiana, Haley's home state. At the Ohio State House, I'm Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout.
Okay, so small victories. And again, it's a solution to the problem, right? We know we're not going to just be able to knock it all out in one night, one time. One law is not going to fix everything, but we can be more aware of these things, we have to be. Let's see. This was a month ago, and these are about the charges that were filed on this devil. I put devil horns on this man, and they fit really, really well. All right, and here's beautiful Haley. Oh, geez.
We start here at 5 o'clock with breaking news out of Ohio. The investigation into Haley Busby's disappearance taking center stage in federal court. The main suspect, Tyler Thomas, now facing federal charges. Good evening. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. Those federal charges were just announced hours ago in Columbus.
Our Ashton Hackman was the only Indianapolis reporter in that hearing. He joins us now live with the latest on these new charges. Ashton, these don't specifically involve Haley's death, right?
They don't, but they do give plenty of new details and insight into the communication between Thomas and Busby. They also detail some of the investigation moments after Thomas allegedly picked Busby up from her home. We've also learned that night wouldn't be the first time that Thomas traveled to Indiana to meet with Busby. Now, all of that part of this 13-page federal complaint that was just handed down here in Ohio. Thomas is charged with sexual exploitation of a minor and travel in interstate commerce with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. Police believe he took Busby to his home in Columbus and a short-term rental in Hocking County, Ohio. Claims that Thomas denies. Prosecutors allege the two were communicating online for more than a year. Thomas allegedly told police he met Haley while playing online video games like Roblox and League of Legends. He also allegedly said they would communicate on Discord and a secure chat app known as Session. Prosecutors now, they allege Thomas traveled 2 other times to visit Busby in Indiana, once in June, another time in July. Despite all of that evidence revealed today, Thomas's attorney says they aren't giving up.
Okay, so this guy's a real jackass, this Thomas's attorney here. But basically, as I said before, he had all of this time to take Haley and bring her from place to place. Now, if a pink alert was issued, there would be more opportunities to see Haley out and someone call and say, hey, I think I saw Haley, right? So super important. Very, very important.
We're going to defend it. We're going to defend it vigorously. We're going to deal with the charges straight up, and we'll deal with professional and capable prosecutors, whether it's in state court or federal. So we're used to both venues and jurisdictions.
Ugh.
Thomas's attorney said any charges tied to Haley Busby's death could come from the federal level. In the meantime, Thomas will be moved out of the county jail here in Franklin County, Ohio. Right now, there is no determination on what facility he will be held in. But Dustin and Felicia, those state charges that Thomas was originally facing as part of this investigation, those have since been tossed out.
And Ashton, law enforcement officials were quick to say, even though these charges have been filed, they are still actively investigating this case. The investigation itself isn't over. Did you hear anything specific about that?
Yeah, we did learn some pieces in that complaint that detail some blood residue and leftover blood that police reportedly found in that short-term rental property. All of that evidence, though, it is still being tested as we await to see if Thomas will indeed be charged with murder. But right now, he is only facing those charges here in federal court today, apart from her death.
And I want to say that we watched another video that had more of an update on that. Hey, Crazy Bird. Hey, Kylie. So, yeah, I'm thinking we'll have to look for another video, too.
All right, Ashton, thank you. We will check back in. Also today, state lawmakers are working on what's called Haley's Law to expand the Amber Alert system and try and better protect kids from the dangers of social media.
I talked with Governor Braun and the head of the Indiana State Police, Superintendent Anthony Scott, about it today. The governor says the social media platforms themselves need to step up here too.
My big concern is big tech is profiting from this. Their algorithms allow it. They need to be responsible to fix it.
And one of the proposals lawmakers are...
Well, and I think parents have to be proactive as well. That's my opinion. You know, you have to put these extra apps on the phones to make sure that it's alerting you if there's, you know, inappropriate activities going on. Because sometimes kids don't know that it's inappropriate, right? I mean, they might be thinking it's all right. Or, you know, this is my friend. They wouldn't tell me to do something wrong, right? They don't, you know, kids are not always going to tell their parents everything too, is another thing that's really tough.
Considering right now would require platforms to get parental verification before kids can even access their account. We also talked about Indiana's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. It now has 520 members statewide dedicated to going after online predators. We'll talk more about that and hear from state police coming up at 6.
And we're seeing support for Haley and her family across Indiana, but especially in Fishers. Fishers government buildings are lit up in pink, which was Haley's favorite color. And it comes as lawmakers from Fishers are working to expand missing persons alerts to help prevent another tragedy like this. City governments and police departments around the state are also going pink for Haley in support.
Yeah, guys, and we had seen where they did the whole, you could see the whole town was lit up in pink. It was really, really nice that they did that for Haley. Um I want to say they did trump up his charges though. Let's see. Maybe not though. That was a month ago. Um that was the press conference. No, I do not see where they have up the charges. But I thought they did for some reason. Let's watch this one here.
TurboTax expert.
We begin at 5 with breaking new details on the death of Indiana teenager Haley Busby. Newly filed search warrants reveal the extent of her relationship with 39-year-old Tyler Thomas, the Columbus man accused in her disappearance. Documents reveal Haley was talking to Thomas online for more than a year. Thanks for joining us tonight on 10 TV and 10 TV Plus. I'm Stacia Nucken.
And I'm Yolanda Harris, in for Jeff Hogan tonight. 10 TV's Lacey Chris joined us live from the Franklin County Courthouse in downtown Columbus. And Lacey, investigators are now focused on Thomas's phone. What are they searching for?
Well, Thomas admitted to Columbus police that he used an app called Sessions to talk to Haley. That's an app where your messages disappear. Now, he admitted to police that he used that app to schedule her runaway and her transport. The teen girl described as bubbly with a bright future and an aspiration to be a journalist. She was reported missing from her home in Fishers, Indiana on January 6th. New search warrants filed in Franklin County detail that Tyler Thomas admitted he met Haley on an online gaming app and had been talking to her for over a year on the app Sessions. According to court records.
Okay, guys, I never had a picture of what Sessions was, so here it is, right here. Send messages, no metadata. What the hell? The decentralized private messaging app? Gross. For what for? I don't understand that. Wow. Okay.
According to court records, Thomas admitted to driving an Acura to her house to pick her up. That car has been impounded for evidence. According to search warrants, Thomas told police he dropped Haley at the Indiana-Ohio border. Thomas said he used GPS navigation on the drive. But when Columbus police searched his phone, they found he had lied and, in fact, drove to Columbus and then to Logan. The search warrant states Thomas said he rented an Airbnb for one guest. Records indicated he rented it for two people on January 6th. Columbus police searched the Victorian Village home where Thomas was staying on January 21st and also interviewed him on that day. According to the search warrant, in that interview, Thomas stated he used Sessions to plan the 17-year-old's runaway attempt and transport.
Right. So double encrypted, super private. The police cannot retrieve it. And that's where he ended up getting her to leave with him. So all of that, I wonder if they weren't able to access that. And then if they were chatting on there as well. Wow, that is so crazy. Oh, thank you, Seth. Thank you so much. I got it. Um, gosh, oh my gosh. I know, I've never heard of it until Haley's case. And thank you, Detroit. That was so sweet of you. I'm so glad more creators are showing support for Haley's Law. And I think she has a huge presence on Facebook and then TikTok, because of her age group and everything. So I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Wow. I bet there is a data bank full of all those messages like on Snapchat. Well, I don't think Snapchat is double encrypted though. I never knew any of them would be so heavily encrypted that law enforcement couldn't retrieve them. But that's my understanding of that Sessions app, which, I mean, that is just scary. Um, exactly. My PTSD, you hit the nail on the head, right? Another app for sickos and cheaters, lovely, right? I mean, because that's why you would want something like that, right? Is if you're trying to hide your correspondence. Uh, I mean, maybe for business, if you were talking about something very private, I don't know. Ugh. So, yeah, I know, exactly. I know, Seth, and I think everything you're doing is wonderful. I mean, all everything that's put in place in here, because I was skimming through it, there's a lot. There's a lot set in place. Just so well thought out. Um, and everything is necessary. There's nothing um in here, and there needs to be special provisions. Um, yeah, I just love the way this is written out. I mean, this is what can cause a big change that it's much needed. It is much needed. How in the world are people allowed to make those different apps knowing that LE can't even see them? Well, and that's the thing. I mean, one that um I don't know, the gray-haired suit guy mentioned, because it's unconstitutional. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I understand what he's saying, that they can't really do much when these people are creating the apps. Um, but I just don't see how they can go on and on with it. I mean, I would say to parents, let's just keep these things off of our children's phones just for the time being until they do put some safeguards. And if we all do that, if we all get our kids off of these Roblox apps for the time being, I know it's going to be a learning curve, and some kids are going to say, "Mom, you need not listen to Lady Freedom. She's a nut bar." But I mean, I think that would show these companies that we mean business as parents, and they're not going to keep on making money off of the backs of our children and letting them get taken away by these disgusting ass predators. You know, I think that's what really needs to happen. I heard about this app from another missing teen. They say they cannot get to the messages on that app. It's scary, Crazy Bird. I've never heard of Sessions before, and I'm so glad they showed it in this news reel here, because I didn't even know what it looked like. You know, so session, Session, and they say here, let's see. During custodial interview conducted shortly after his detention, Thomas made specific admissions regarding the use of mobile devices to facilitate the abduction. Thomas admitted to communicating with the missing juvenile for over a year using online gaming platforms and encrypted messaging application known as Session. Thomas stated that he used this application to plan the juvenile's runaway attempt and transport. Thomas admitted during the interview that he utilized the GPS navigation applications on his phone to navigate from Indiana to Ohio while transporting the juvenile. He further stated that the Session application requires a specific code or string of numbers to access or recover account data. So you can, if they knew her code or his code, they could recover the account data, and implied that deleting this code would prevent law enforcement from viewing the messages. So again, it's in the person's hands who has created this chat and who has been engaged in this chat. So, based on Thomas's admissions regarding the extensive digital communication with the victim, the use of the phone for navigation during the commission of the crime, and the specific use of encrypted applications to conceal his communications, uh, affiant his probable cause to believe that the seized mobile device contains critical evidence. This evidence includes, but is not limited to, Session app recovery codes potentially stored critical evidence, potentially stored in screenshots or notes, location history data, calls and text logs, and communication with the missing juvenile. The cellular phone, which was seized during the original search warrant from Tyler Thomas, was processed by investigators and the data was extracted. The extracted data was being analyzed by FBI agent Josh Stelter when he observed what appeared to be SA abuse material, CSAM, on Tyler Thomas's phone. What a sick little fuck he is.
According to Thomas's defense attorney, Sam Szymanski, Thomas turned himself into police on January 31st and led them to Haley's remains in Perry County on February 1st. He has not been charged with her death as of now. When the FBI searched Thomas's phone, they also found what appeared to be child sex abuse material containing a nude photo of a girl aged 7 to 10 years old.
And Thomas is being held on a $1.5 million bond right now, but his attorney says Thomas has no intention of posting that bond. His attorney also says he plans on pleading not guilty if he's charged with anything related to Haley's death. Reporting live, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Okay, guys, so that's that part. So obviously that was a month ago. They still haven't indicted him on the red rum charges as of right now. It's rated 12 plus, Little Miss Sharon. Oh my. So I just looked in Play Store in session. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on one second here. Oh my gosh. Little Miss Sharon says, so I looked in Play Store and Session Private came up with Session Foundation written under it. Huh. Okay, interesting. Rated 12 plus. Yeah, that's so young for children to be on that. I mean, 12? That's barely, I mean, that's not even a teenager. 13 is a teen. That's like more like a tween, right? In between. Oh my gosh. There was a report on the news tonight about the internet and cracking down on crimes against children and changing the laws. I'll send it to you. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Detroit. Oh my gosh. I just can't believe that they would allow for a 12-year-old to be on a private app like that. Like, no offense, but I don't think they can't handle privacy at that point. And some people might be like, well, that's crazy or whatever. I don't care. I mean, you'd rather have the kids here with you than to, just, oh my gosh. Okay, guys, so I want to share this as well with you guys. And this is going to be Haley's dad. He was just on a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And he is wanting to share about Haley's Law that is what his main goal is right now. And they do have Haley's Army on Facebook if you guys want to join. I'm a member of their Facebook as well. Just really good information over there. Sorry if I'm buffering. Oh, okay. All right, not buffering anymore. All right, there we go.
Tonight, right now, the father of Haley Busby is pushing for a new law to protect other teens from becoming a victim.
It's the disappearance and death of 17-year-old Haley Busby, and now her father is pushing for a new law named after his daughter. Kat, there's a purpose here beyond the pain.
Yes, Derek, it's not an easy conversation to have for Bo Busby. It took courage and vulnerability, and he tells me Haley's law gives children better protection from predators.
I saw a folder and it was full of college flyers and applications, and Haley was she had a future and she was looking forward to it.
It was a future that never happened.
In today's world, things move so fast. We don't have days before we complete some of those initial steps.
Her family is now pushing for Haley's law. Bo says it'll give families and authorities opportunities to act in the most critical hours. It includes a pink alert specifically for missing high-risk youth, which focuses on cases involving online grooming or trafficking risk, a gap, the family says, that can be missed by the Amber or Silver Alert.
Okay, guys, and we've talked about this as well. Haley's acronym for online predator protection. So H, hide personal information. And this is so easy for little ones to understand, right? Don't tell people your name, your age, school, location, photos, none of that. They don't need to know, right? That's private. Talk about what's private and what should be private and what shouldn't be private, and what's appropriate in being private and what's not appropriate in being private, right? Because sometimes kids can take this stuff really literally. So sometimes we have to make them understand, why we're implementing this, why it's important. Avoid private conversations with strangers, especially moved off of the platform. So if you're playing on Roblox and someone says, let's go talk somewhere else, you tell them no, right? And then the next step would be to identify the grooming tactics, right? So if they're giving you flattery or gifts, or they want you to be secretive with them, secrecy, pressure, if you feel a certain type of way, if you feel weird inside, then, that's a good time to tell mom and dad, right? Or that's a good time to tell a trusted adult. But the big thing is leave and block immediately. No explaining, no arguing, just block them and leave them. They'll never bother you again. Evidence, save the screenshots and messages, don't delete them. And you are not in trouble, tell a trusted adult. You're never in trouble. It's never your fault, it's never your fault. You're always on the side of right when you're telling your mom and dad something that is uncomfortable to you. You'll never be in trouble for that. And, I think this is just so important. This is a coloring sheet, guys. You can also download that from Haley's Army. I just think it's such a smart idea. It's got the cute little bows on it. Maybe make one that's for little boys as well. I think that would be really cool too. I don't know if Haley had like a favorite animal or something, but maybe do something with like, a bear, or what I mean, a dog or something, a cat, I don't know. But I think all the children should be aware of this and know what these warning signs are and how to keep themselves safe.
There's also a push for mandated online safety education in schools.
We're also asking for higher penalties for first offense groomers. Right now it's misdemeanor. We need that to be a felony, and I think most Hoosier families would agree. So
Haley Busby went missing early January after communicating with a 39-year-old Ohio man she met online. She was later found dead.
She's a very special girl to us, and we just because of that love and how selfless she was as a person and all about other people in those relationships, we just want to do our best to carry that forward for others.
Bo tells me that means making sure it doesn't happen to any other child again. He says there were no obvious signs, and the family implemented safeguards like no computer, tablet, or phone in her room at night. He is also encouraging parents to be diligent and to keep communication open.
Yeah, and communication being open is so important. And it does seem, by everything that I've looked at, all the research I've done, is that, Haley came from a very loving home, a very good home, where they were trying to instill not only morals and values, but also these safety measures they were taking, nothing at nighttime. That really alleviates a good chunk of your child, not being able to have access when you can't be watching them, right? Everybody needs to sleep and that sort of thing. Limiting the screen time is good for all of us. I mean, there's times where I can't sleep and it's like, well, no wonder, because my phone is in my face. But I mean, for kids and stuff, it can be something where, they may be using it too much. Um, but I think that all of these safeguards are so very important.
Some of them have had to do it alone. And what we're trying to do is surround them with love and support to where they feel hope and feel like they can take action, fight, and so we're trying to get some work done to help fill a lot of those gaps.
Bo said he is grateful for the community support, and they are using that attention to take action. He intends to deliver a draft of this law to lawmakers next week and push for Haley's Law in the next year's legislation session.
Okay, guys, and I just wanted to show you guys this just really quick. I thought this was really neat. Somebody had taken a shot of just, it looks like an angel. It looks like she's got curly hair, just really pretty, really, really sweet for Haley. That was something that was on their Facebook page. Again, it's a great Facebook page, Haley Busby's Army official group, right? And it just, they're always posting updates for Haley. And then one of the keychains she made for Haley's dad, mom, and sister, because Haley does have a mom and a sister. Her dad is the spokesperson for the family. I know, Holly, I know. So yeah, I mean, and they made these for the family, which was really, really sweet. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And again, please be a part of sharing out Haley's Law. It's really, really important. I'd like to see it go far and wide, everywhere, just everywhere. The pink alert, super important for the cases just like Haley's. Um, those that don't fit the criteria of the Amber Alert. And let's get these safeguards in schools. Let's get kids educated. Let's have communication, spark communication, as the real Me Too says, because communication is so important. And it is. It's super important for kids to know that they're able to come to their parents and talk to their parents, because kids and even some of us adults have friends that give horrible advice. Right? It's not just the kids, and it's not just our teenagers, all of us. um yeah, I know. Isn't that wild, Sasha? I was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I love that. So really, really sweet. And yeah, thank you, Kiki. Yeah, definitely. Share out. I have both links in the description of this video. Another one is for like a store where people can buy Haley's bracelets, like the awareness bracelets, like I think they're silicone bracelets. But well, that's true, Detroit. These parents need more rights when it comes to their own children. They need a new program to push that point. The game they were playing with Seth is ridiculous and a horrible display. I agree. I agree. It is absolutely horrible, isn't it? I mean, just knowing that Sebastian had so much going on in the house with no inkling that it had been going towards to CPS. I mean, 4 reports and a 5th one still open. So, well, we all need a class on the apps. Oh, Kiki, I mean, I'm here to tell you, girl, I need to catch up, because like I said, up until now, I never heard of this app. And my daughter is grown, So I don't have as much writing on that type of an app. Um, but that doesn't ever stop me from telling her, like, did you know about this app that's out there and stuff like that? Because, predators take all forms, shapes, and forms, and it's scary. It is so scary. Kiki says parents honestly need a class in recognizing these apps and what to watch for. There's some parents that don't have a clue. Yeah, and I mean, it's so hard to keep up with them. It really is. And especially if it's a single mom or a single dad, it's so hard to keep up with all of them. It's like they're ever changing. But I do like the idea of like the Sentry app with the mom had on her phone on her excuse me, her son's phone to identify these creepy people, and what keywords, because even if it was something where she put it on there because she was worried about her son with girls his own age, well, she found out that the teacher was grooming him, and oh my gosh, you know yeah, I agree too. Crazy Bird says, Cheryl, I totally agree. And if it has to go before lawmakers or Congress, it has to happen. Yeah, it needs to happen. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Seth should have been notified. And that's a very big issue in Sebastian's case that I see leading up to his disappearance. I do. Because unfortunately, and maybe even fortunately, I think we're dealing with an inside job, or as Detective Dan was saying, a roll your own, that there's more to Sebastian's story than just he met someone on Roblox, which Roblox just seems to be a very um predatory site, in my opinion. I know that everything can be used for good. I don't know. Maybe I need to get on that app and see what's up. My PTSD says I'm trying to find out a legal way for Seth to get the original fifth report that is still open. Yeah, if there is a legal form he can file pro se or just to the CPS, he has that right. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's open, to the best of my knowledge, he won't be able to retrieve it until it's closed. So that's the hardest part there. I know, Detroit. I knew you would love that. I mean, just so beautiful, right? Um, this was a tough video to make, but I know it's even tougher for her father, her mother, her sister, all of her friends, her close friends at school. Everyone described Haley as being just, you know, delightful, fun to be around. Not to interrupt, lady, I have a different case I've worked on before, but things have changed a bit. An attorney I told the lady to get a hold of, and she did, and he covered things on the news, and now they may get justice. Really? Okay. Oh yeah, I'll give you a call, Kiki. That's interesting. Oh, I'm glad. That's good news, I hope. I hear so much about so much bad about Roblox. I just don't trust it. Well, and I've been working on a video. I need to get it out. Um, but I saw Haley's dad was on, and I really wanted to kind of do the awesome dads live tonight. These dads are not having it. These dads are not happy with the status quo. Because I thought that would be a good especially having these dads that are coming out publicly on the news and things like that. It's so important, to have all the parents out here voicing their opinions. But I'm glad to see it when the dads are doing that. It's very powerful. Um, yeah, that's the thing, Holly. I don't know why they have to do the messaging. Like, can they just take that out for children under the age of 18? Because I mean, I hate to I hate to say it in this way. I hope it doesn't sound wrong, but it seems like these sickos go for young kids. So if they're 18, then they're not going to be as at risk. I mean, they still could be at risk. But I mean, can we at least combat that somewhat? Because it sucks that you have to take the whole game away. And then the kid goes, "Well, I didn't do anything wrong." How come I'm being punished, right? Kids are smart. They're like trying to figure it out. And then it's like also don't want to scare kids or take their innocence, but it's really, something that has to be discussed because it's out there, you know, and especially if they're going to be on those apps. So I know. Well, and I think it's important to keep on going too, Kiki. I mean, right. Right, Crazy Bird, especially with all the red flags around Katie and Chris. Craddock won't say it, but Chris and Katie are suspects. Well, they have to be. I mean, Sebastian's case is under um on their website, listed on their website as being a open criminal case, right? No matter what Chris Proudfoot tells you, you know. Um He should have received a notification that a case was open with his child, unless different in his state. They don't give much info, but basics. Yeah, I mean, I just think that it would have made a huge difference had he known there was any involvement at all. But it does seem to me it does seem to me that Katie hid it. So I think she also is responsible for that. Um, I'm praying with you, Kiki. Or why can't they play against the computers like we did instead of playing against other people? Yeah, really. I mean, I don't understand that either. But see, like I play against other people, um, or I'm on a team for one of the games I play. Um, but it's just to get like lives and stuff. Like if I don't have any lives, I go to my team and I say, "Oh, I don't have any lives," and they give me, or they'll say, "I need some lives," and I give them some lives. But I don't think many of them you can chat so freely, you know? So, do you see the short on YouTube with the dad and 8 daughters in front of the board allowing boys in the girls' restrooms? No. No, I haven't seen stuff like that in a little while, actually, Crazy Bird. Oh my. See, and that's another issue that's not safe for anybody. I believe Seth has a legal case against DHS and CPS for not sending that notification, plus more jackalopes, right? Yeah, exactly. My PTSD. I feel the same way. It's very difficult to go against CPS because they're rarely held accountable. I mean, look, we just talked about it earlier today, where they have kids sleeping in the offices, and they're saying we don't have kids sleeping in our offices, and then they have people sending the news uh, different complaints about this very issue, and then we have a 911 call that comes in stating that they are definitely sleeping in the offices. I mean, it's wild. They're not admitting it, and they're skating accountability, whether they think it's because they're doing the right thing, or I mean, they have to know they're doing the wrong thing when they're lying about it, though. Did you know, I'm sorry, but in Tennessee, they were allowing kids, meaning to act like furries in the school and putting litter boxes in the bathroom. Oh my gosh, no. No. I mean, I thought that was kind of a fad that didn't go over well. But I don't know. I didn't know that was still happening, Kiki. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm. I don't understand that either. Because you're not a cat, you're a human. You're not a dog, you're a human. You're a child. You know, are we not teaching kids that the Lord gave us, all of these purposes in life, and it's not to use a litter box? I mean, that's just my take on things. Um, yeah, they really did, and the dads did such a good job of speaking up for the kids and saying, "You know what? This is not okay." And I'm sorry, but this guy, um, trying to say, Mr. Vetter in particular, trying to say that he accidentally showed his phone to that little girl. That is such a crock of shit, and I will never believe that, and I hope he never works with or near a child again, period, because there's no room for somebody like that, that's that irresponsible and reckless, and you're working with a kid, and not only that, don't show a kid your phone. You have no reason to be showing it as a grown-ass man, 52 years old, a 17-year-old your phone. Be more professional. They were? Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. My daughter my daughter gets annoyed with the furries and their demands. I love the way you put that, Holly. That's too funny. The furries must have a lot of demands if they're demanding a litter box in the Oh no. Oh my. It almost seems absurd. They did that here with little boxes that came unglued. Oh my gosh, crazy bird. My PTSD says the litter box was a joke. It actually is something used for wind instrument mouthpiece to dry them out. Or I know here that the real use. Oh, hmm. I don't know. My daughter was in band and she never had that. Kiki says, but yet, lady, they have received millions of dollars to build homes for kids in CPS. They had the meeting back in 2021. Now here we are to look at, or excuse me, now here we are. It took them years to make plans for homes. Why not get the homes? Well, I thought that they were doing their best to make, I don't know if it was like a ranch or it was like those home. I think it was those homes that you were talking about. I would have to go back because I know we went over it. And I was explaining to people like this is what's going on in Tennessee with CPS. But yeah, they built up a bunch of them. But I think those people were corrupt, and I know they were selling kids through CPS. Oh no, Holly. One wanted to turn his papers in by mouth. Oh no, that's not sanitary. That is not sanitary at all. Kiki says if you look on DHS website in Tennessee, you can see their plans online and how much money they got. Really? Huh. I just go to DHS website? Huh. Let's see. Yeah, that is harassment. Oh my gosh, my PTSD. I can't believe that. I don't know why they don't flag that kind of stuff though. Because it's excessive and it is I mean, I think it's harassment to do that, to work the system, to do that. Oh yeah. I think it's a money thing, girl. In my opinion, CPS is getting too much money and not doing stuff. I mean, if it shows that it was within their budget, I don't see how they could get away with not doing, not building them. Yeah, the trafficking by CPS seems to be out in the open now. I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Which is it's very unfortunate, but I think that it's definitely coming to light. And I think a lot of those higher ups, they're throwing the less seasoned people to the wolves, and then they're still reaping the benefits of it, unfortunately. I'll find it. I showed it in a live type, um, in how much money has DHS received in Tennessee. Okay, so I have to go. Well, yeah, they need to go at the fraud teams need to go after all of this stuff. I mean, that's the thing because with funding, I mean, you have to use it or you lose it type of a thing. And then you can't even ask for more unless you've used up what you had from last year. DHS received, how much did DHS in Tennessee? Yeah, because it's been a while since I've covered that, Kiki. I know that. Says in Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Human Services has a budget of over $3 billion across various programs and services. Additionally, the Tennessee Housing Development Agency has awarded over $25 million in federal low-income housing credits. But now we're just looking at is it maybe the Tennessee Department of Human Services annual report? Because that pulled up as well. Yeah, because I know they were building the housing and everything for them. Oh, and I hope your left arm is doing well. Oh, I didn't know that you had a doctor's appointment today. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't state grants to fund affordable housing. See, that wouldn't be the same. Not federal housing credits. I'm more so looking, I just want to know how much they gave to build up like new places for the kids to stay, like even in the interim, you know? So, how much did they spend and where are the children? Right, exactly. Exactly, Sasha. I wonder the same darn thing. I mean, especially if they're not keeping track of the children and then they were saying they were auctioning children off. I know that was one of them. YouTube, go check this out. Okay, hold on one second. Let me go to YouTube. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Gotta go to live. I did this the other day. I was like, I don't need to learn how to do this part. Okay, hold on. Father went off on the school board members after they allowed a boy to use the. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me share this. Is it this one? Oh, no, not this one. Sorry. Hold on. Stop share. All right. Hold on one second. Let me grab it. Okay, here we go. Mad Dad. No, I'm just kidding. He's has every right.
North Carolina, another location in the United States of America where apparently boys are allowed in girls' bathroom. Well, this father is not having it. And God bless him for standing up for what is right and for common sense.
Brandon Matthews. Welcome, Mr. Matthews.
Hey, all right. I see cowards. First off, quit smiling. Why are you smiling?
Okay.
All I see, the one girl that went to the bathroom and went to the office to try to have something done about it, they said they couldn't do it because of Title IX, correct? Well, there is something you can do. You could create policy that goes out to the girls that says they can use the staff bathroom. One person on this board with a conversation told me that they can't turn away the girls from the staff bathroom. So why aren't you doing anything? My daughter, right here, sweetheart, tell these people, do you want a little boy to watch you pee?
No,
No. Why?
because it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
Boom. Well, out of the mouths of babes. Out of the mouths of babes. You know, and this, thank God for this dad. He's teaching his little girl to stand up for herself. He's teaching her right there. Don't be scared. It's okay. Come up here and speak up for yourself. Because do you want this? No? Okay. Perfect.
My 8-year-old daughter knows it's inappropriate, and yet y'all sit there silent.
Oh.
One of you told me that your personal views don't align with the views you show to the public. You're cowards. That is not how you do it. That should show every parent in this county that you are not fit to sit on this board. Every one of you. Tell me you didn't say that this is not your job, that it should be left up to the ethics committee. I've heard you say it's not my job. When it came to the books being in these schools, it is your job to look over who's in charge of catching those books. All you do is smile. Rob, I don't have a problem with you, but this has got to stop, because I'm going to tell you, y'all come up here and talk about vaping and the dangers of vaping. If a little boy follows my daughter in that bathroom and touches her, you will have a new radar of dangers. This is ridiculous. You're opening up opportunity for problems to happen. You either create a new bathroom for those who are confused, or you send them to the staff bathroom. It's a very simple problem. We don't change policy for tens of thousands of people to accommodate. There is no problem what people do on their personal level. That is not my business, nor your business, nor anybody's business. That is their choice. But I tell you what, I want to prove that you're all hypocrites, because each of you ladies, I want you to invite your husbands, and let's go to the bathroom, and I want them to watch me watch you use the bathroom, and let's see if they get mad.
Oh, buddy. Oh, I bet nobody takes that proposition. Wow.
Let's prove to the public the hypocrites that sit on this board. Because I bet you'll get mad when I watch your wife. Your husband will get mad when I watch you. Your husband would feel the same as I would about my wife. Now stand up and do something. You're so scared of losing federal funding, it's ridiculous. Every single one of you is cowards. And we keep coming up here year after year with the same clique. There's one woman on this board that stands up for the people and the kids. That's a role model. Y'all should listen and pay attention. Is why she gets the votes. We won't put a single Laura Lindsay sign out and she'll get the votes. Kenny Workman is the exact example of a man whose feelings are hurt because the right questions were asked. There, I called him out.
Thank you.
Wow. And you know, the crazy thing is these people are so smug. He says, boom. Exactly. They're so smug. Like, this lady just looks like she wants to come out of her skin and grab him up, but what do you expect? Do you see his tiny little daughter? Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. No way. Kiki says, this sounds like my husband, but this guy's nice. Right? I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to know what my father would have done. You know, but a lot of it is him bringing this up to the school. And Brenda says that they're educated idiots. I mean, it's amazing to me. I mean, these are all people that look like they're about our age, right? I mean, this lady looks like she's about my age. Why would she ever think this is appropriate? And wouldn't it I would break my heart to see a little girl come up there and say, no, I don't want this. It would be like, okay, honey, you don't have to, but it's like, they're so stubborn. So, right, Kiki, exactly. Oh my gosh, I don't think I could be this nice. No. I mean, but he executed this very well, you know. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Seth, oh no. But I mean, that's the thing, is it's awkward for these little ones. They don't, you teach them one way at home and then they go to school and they have to deal with this. Oh no, no, no.
Okay, board members, we'll move to 11.01 with committee reports. Are there any reports, board members? Okay.
Wow, of course they do not care. Did you see this? They just continue with their meeting with different items without even addressing the issue. What a shame, man. Anyway, boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom, and transgender bathroom. It's just that simple. That's my solution. But they won't do it. They won't do it. You know why? Because there is an agenda. And that's what I think. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. God bless you and your family. God bless this father. We need more people like him. Catch you on the next one.
I agree. I think that we need more people like this dad over here, right? That's not afraid to go to the school board, bring in a concern, right? It's legitimate concern. This is nothing that is being over. I mean, it's not. There's no reason to not honor this father and what he's asking here. Okay, so Kiki, I said I got the link. Tennessee funds child protective services and related welfare programs through a mix of state. Oh, it doesn't tell me the funding though. Um, it kind of gave me an AI overview, but it's not giving me foster care. Well, it does say foster care initiatives. Tennessee launched a 1 million challenge to fund pilot programs, transitional housing mentoring to address the foster care crisis. But I thought I had put up a video a while back that had been speaking specifically about what they were doing in hmm that's interesting. You should have told her you can't concentrate, Kiki. That's funny. Well, Seth. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is awkward having anybody watch that. You're like, I'm a little shy now. Thanks a lot. Um, okay, thanks, Kiki. I know that we pulled up more about that, because I know we were looking into all of that stuff a while back too. And I did cover some of it. I can't remember. I suppose I put it in a live stream and I didn't do a separate video, which I usually do a separate video in case we want to revisit stuff or if somebody doesn't want to hear my commentary on top of it. Hey, Sharon Marlowe. Sharon Marlowe says Virginia just passed a law to allow illegals up to 22 years of age to attend school with children to learn English. You want to see some angry parents? They're pissed big time. Sharon, that's hilarious the way he said that. Well, I mean, this is another part where we're like allowing for adults to be in with the kids. What is this, Billy Madison? I mean, hello. That was a comedy for a reason. That wasn't supposed to be real. No. If they would like to learn English, then they need to be in a class full of adults. Don't they have programs for that? I would think. I don't know because I only speak English. I use the girls' restroom here in town and seen the litter box. Oh no. Oh no, crazy bird. And I dumped it all over the floor. And I went and told the office I did it, and if I find out it's back in there, it will be dumped. Oh no, on the superintendent's desk. Crazy bird. I'll tell you what. That's just the rage that I might have myself, because I'm like, no, this is not acceptable, you know? So, gosh, Detroit. Don't encourage him, Detroit. Oh my goodness. I know. Yeah, so did I. So did I. They do, lady, but that is only when you are coming in through legal ways. Well, that's true. But I mean, put them in. Oh, hey, you did something illegal you weren't supposed to do. Well, come on and sit down next to my child, and we're gonna do some. We're gonna teach you your ABCs. Oh Lord. Oh, why wasn't she wearing gloves? Kiki. Night classes. Yeah, crazy bird. I mean, here's the thing. I understand people want to learn and stuff, but that is crazy. I've never even heard of that. That's wild. Sharon, that's crazy. I did not know that. Wow. In Virginia too, huh? Wow, that is so crazy. Huh. That's interesting. See, I love when you guys share things with me because I'm like, I had no idea that was going on. Um, Yeah, I definitely think there's a money thing, Kiki. Yeah. Bill Lee is getting a lot of funds, but things are moving forward to move to building these homes to get these kids out of the offices. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh, that's terrible though. It's terrible what they're subjecting the kids to. I don't get that. I know. Well, how is that gonna work in real life? That's my thing, is that we're not teaching kids to be prepared for the real world when we're doing things like that, right? We're instilling horrible habits. Um, that's so unacceptable. I so thought that was a fad. I didn't even think that that was happening still. I thought people were, like, totally against that on many different sides of the aisle, and they didn't do that? Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's apparent they don't care, right? They don't care about the children, says Sharon. Can you imagine your third grader in class with a 22-year-old not knowing where they are from their background? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. These people are out of control. I agree. No, there's no reason for that whatsoever. And again, it's just putting children in a dangerous situation. Because just like I don't want the adults conversating with the kids on Roblox, I don't think it's appropriate to have them right there in the classroom. I mean, exa- again, we don't know who these people are, what their background is. Um, a lot of those people are escaping horrible circumstances, but a lot of them are escaping prison time. We have to be honest. And no, I find that so inappropriate. Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine how long it takes some parents to potty train, and then they go to school and they're learning how to use a litter box. I mean, I would be beside myself. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, it makes you want to homeschool. Right? I mean, Raisin Cane, Kiki says. I know. I'd be down at the school. I mean, oh gosh. I think that's why the Lord gave me my daughter when he did. Because I couldn't handle any of this. I would be at the school and then I would just pull her out and homeschool her. Um, lady, I think it was Arizona or Nevada, was putting kids in seedy hotels for the night by themselves. Oh, when they had nowhere else to put them. Oh my gosh. See, that's weird. I don't understand. Like, how is that safer than being in? I mean, I don't know. I did see a mom today. The grandma called in on her and she was really messed up on something. I don't think she was drunk. I think it was more substances. She said she was on the M clinic or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was a good thing. She was like nodding off in the car and stuff like that. There's no way she could have taken care of her little baby that was there. And they ended up giving her, I think it was like 3 years, and then um, subsequently she had lost custody, but I in those circumstances, but still, I mean, a seedy hotel, that's crazy, Brenda. Uh, really? Why not, Kiki? See, I used to chaperone all the stuff. Oh yeah, I do field trips, field day. We had reading is fundamental. I did that as well. Yeah, oh my gosh. It's like they're wanting to take the parents away from the kids so they can hurt the kids. And I mean, that's what it seems like with Mr. Elithrope, and I hope I'm not saying his last name wrong. When he comes up and says that they were keeping all of this in the dark, that's what's so scary. It's really, really scary. And when I coached softball, I had to have background checks, so I don't know how these creeps get through that. Well, and that's the thing, they do check you. If you're working at the school or if you have anything to do with the kids, they're always checking you. They'll be like, "Hey, if you go to volunteer, they'll be like, "Hey, we need to do a background check," and then they do. So yeah, that's weird. Oh my gosh. Mhm. Crazy Bird says, "Me too, lady. I was at the school enough in the 80s." Oh my gosh. Well, even today, I didn't even remember that happening with the gym teacher, the weird gym teacher, till you guys started talking about it. Because nothing bad happened. I mean, I told her, "You're making me feel uncomfortable. Could you not, come talk to me while I'm dressing? Is that okay?" Like she was pissed off too and called my parents. But again, parents have to stick up for their kids too, and you can't show all the respect to your elders when your elders are acting out. Exactly. No, I agree, Seth. Kids have more rights than the parents, and it shouldn't be that way. Well, it's almost like they're trying to keep stuff from the parents, and that's what drives me nuts. Because, if something's going on with the kids, we need to know about it. We need to be the first people that know, right? Because it starts at home, and we need to be aware. I used to, but they don't now. That's so weird. Wow. Every door has a metal detector now at elementary. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so sad. Mm. I know. Exactly. Detroit says if you told me I couldn't chaperone my kid, I'm not going back there. I know. Oh, I would have a fit myself. Well, what are you trying to hide? Because again, like even like the little Secret Santa workshops, we would do those. I mean, yeah, there's no reason not to allow for parents to be a part of it. It just seems like they're if they don't want the parents involved, it almost seems like they're trying to indoctrinate the children into whatever their agenda might be. And that's scary because that's not up to them. That's not what we're sending our kids to school for. Again, math, history, doesn't matter. Whatever they're teaching, that's what we're sending the kids to school for, is to learn, not to be indoctrinated. I agree, Seth. Yeah, we should have the right to protect our kids, but the school district has more rights over our kids as soon as they step outside the door heading to school. Yeah, and I mean, I'm wondering if this gentleman, Adam Roger Elithrope, if he could get a hold of the union and see if he can't go higher than the school board. I wonder if some change could be made or something could be done through there, because the school board's saying they're not even gonna um investigate it until the police are done investigating it. And we all know that, you're wasting time when you do that. It should be a multifaceted, multi-agency investigation, and that should be with the school, that should be with the school board, the unions, everybody. Everybody should be involved in that, you know. Right? Well, I mean, hey, they used to give parents so much more rights. They really did. It's odd how it's shifted in such a negative direction. Um, yeah, they're definitely doing that, right, Seth? It's crazy to me. And these are little minds, and they're being taught one way at home, and then they go to school. It's got to be super confusing for them, especially if they have a strong moral code at home, and you're trying to instill that moral compass into your kids, and then when they go into school, that is so tough. That's got to be confusing for them too. Here at the big hospital, my daughter at 15 had to call and sign so I could see her medical tests and search such results. Wow, my PTSD. See, that's crazy. Yeah, it is absolutely wrong, Detroit. It is. I know. Kiki, like I said, I've never wanted to do the homeschooling route, because I did only have one daughter, and, I thought it was a good opportunity for her to meet people and, other children and friends and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, nowadays it's scary. It's absolutely scary, especially if they're doing what they're doing. I think it's crazy, yet parents have to pay the medical bills. Yeah, absolutely. We should have every right over what happens to our children medically and otherwise. I mean, until they're 18 years old, which, I mean, we were talking about that earlier. It's kind of crazy the way that's set up as well. Um, that's right. Room moms bring the treats. Exactly. Or what if it's their birthday and you wanted to bring cupcakes for the day or something like that? It's so weird that Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, I know, Seth, and now you know why I wanted Sebastian to be in the homeschool program and why there is a 2-year wait list here in Clarksville. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to get them involved in that either. Because I know there's a lot of homeschool programs, but not everyone is going to fit. And also, Sebastian, he was good at doing that sort of stuff. He kind of already knew, like it seemed. Sometimes it's hard for people to do online, but he seemed like he was doing really well with that, especially being able to do the, FFA and everything like that. I mean, yeah, it sucks because it's like you don't wanna take away the interaction, but also you don't wanna being indoctrinated into that bull crap. I wouldn't. Hell no. My daughter talked to her friend today and asked what they were, earning-wise. They removed my girls because my son left the football team. Yeah, I know, but my daughter thinks he's, uh, more. Oh, homeschooling. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's difficult, because it's like they do wanna be around friends and stuff, but then in the same way, you know, there's a lot of different programs and sports and stuff that you could still get involved in, with homeschooling that I never really knew, but they have a lot. They have a lot. My daughter's going to Chicago on a band trip end of May, and I think I should get to chaperone, but I gotta pay her trip first, so I probably won't. Aw, my PTSD. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that she's going on a band trip. That's neat. Yeah, my daughter was in band. She loved it. They used to do, the state trips and everything. It's a public school paid with our taxes. They can't keep me out. That's right. Crazy Bird, I think more parents have to look at it that way. We have to take our power back. That's why I really thought this was great, the way the dad took his power back. Um, Same thing with Haley Busby's dad. He's trying to work towards better laws to be in place so other kids don't have to go through what Haley went through, being lured like that. And then in Sebastian's case, I mean, Seth is absolutely doing everything he can, not only still looking for Sebastian, but trying to put safeguards in place for other families, and that's huge. Um, it's much needed. It's much needed. Kiki says, Seth, I go through a place out of Nashville, and I wish I'd known you before and would have led you to them right away because it's immediately enrolling. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because, we wanna make sure they have the right program that fits them the best too. That's what's most difficult. With Sebastian being extremely intelligent like he was and, school, doing so well in school, um, it's hard to find a good program like that. But like I said, he seems like he was doing just fine in online classes. Oh, how cute. Crazy Bird. She says, my daughter went to Washington, D.C. in 4th grade for her spelling bee. I know Livy did her 8th grade trip in Washington, D.C., and she loved it. She was like so excited. Yeah, yeah. He did really well during the bat flu period. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the thing. I think a lot of the kids did get used to that online, and found it to be better for them. Some kids were like, no, I like to be in person. But yeah, it seems like he did awesome. Did you know I found out that you're supposed to get POA over your child if they're over 18 and not married in case something happens? You're not allowed to make medical decisions, supposedly. We talked about that a little bit in Devlin's case, right, Kiki? And then also in Jonathan Hong's case as well, because his family had to get a conservatorship over him in order to get like some of his correspondence because he was old enough to. I mean, the same thing with Devlin. It was really hard to get his phone records because they weren't sure if he just ran off or, you know, and with him being over 18. Yeah, it's scary. I mean, yeah. They don't have to wait here. If you want to the homeschool them, they'll just give you the books and you do it all at home. Oh, okay, crazy bird. See, I've never looked into it really before. Oh, my son was on the urinal, and while he was relieving himself, a principal was poking him in the back, telling him he couldn't wear the shirt on his head. Oh, we felt it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Good, Detroit. Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. These schools are out of control. The doctor told me today that I have a frozen shoulder on top of MS and I have osteoporosis too. Oh, Anne, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they deserve to be fired. If they're not gonna step up their game, they need to really get their ish together. If they're not teaching the subjects they should be and have this other brainwashing crap than homeschool, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing, you know? That's the only thing you can do because they're not going to change. I mean, especially if the school board is down with it and they're okay with all of it. Yeah, it's not changing. Oh, lady, my mouth was much louder than that man's at the PTA school board meetings. Somehow I believe that, crazy bird. But that you have to speak up for the kids, you know? Crazy they won't allow parents, I think, due to the fact of weird parents or parents with background and such. I coach basketball at the school and have to do a background check also. Yeah, but I mean, that seems really standard, especially if you're going to do something at the school with the kids, you know? Um, oh, okay, yeah, I have to pay for the umbrella school and then pay monthly for the curriculum to be online also. Wow. Wow. Seth says here they have a program that teaches or the teachers that actually run the class, but it's all online and they provide the computers and everything. Wow, that's cool. I mean, I think that that's uh better than just doing it all online yourself. So that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that they had teachers that would also assist. Um, I know I'm better with in-person learning, just because I've tried to take online classes and I was like, oh, I don't know who to ask my questions to. But you just got to kind of find it in the book again. So they can be easier, though, I think, too. Like the real estate stuff was online, that was easy. But I took a computer class and I probably should have been sitting down having someone to help me there. Yes, you can do books, but I do online so that I know what they're doing. It keeps record and they have tutors. Oh, okay, see that works too, Kiki. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's great too. Yeah, with the teachers. I mean, it's good to have somebody there to ask a question or if you need extra help, you know? So I know, Kiki, that's so exciting too. I'm so glad about that. She says I have one in college and another going. There are online schools that my kiddos went to when my first hubby had a brain cancer treatments all over the state, and they simply or they'd supply everything, and the online teachers do most of it. Okay, Witchy, that's cool. See, I didn't even realize the teachers were involved if you did homeschooling, but that would be something that would be really helpful, I think. I mean, that way, if the kids need any extra help, there they are. Um, and I don't know how that would work, but I think that's great. The thing is that the guy was always a creep and he was sent to different schools over the years, accused of different things. Oh, they used to move them around Detroit, from place to place, even, sometimes in the Catholic school and that sort of thing. He had tenure and was protected by the system. Oh, they need to change that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, and even just when it comes to this case out of Clarksville, I'm just so baffled that his wife is allowing for that behavior. Um, it's wild to me. It really is. We had to buy the computers and all, but I got the cheap Walmart HPs. Really is funny with all these sitting around doing the laptops. Aw, if they have writing assignments, then we print and take a picture with the phone and submit it. Okay, cool, Kiki, that's neat. Yeah, I mean, I think whatever works for the student, and if they're in a toxic environment where they're telling kids it's okay to use the restroom outside of the restroom, I can't see sending kids to school for that. I mean, what's the point? You done potty train them to get into school, and now they're telling them it's okay to do that. Yes, Lord knows I get lost in math almost like a fifth grader doing almost. Oh, the algebra, forget it. You don't want me teaching people how to do algebra. That's my worst subject ever. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, I think I'm going to hop off of here tonight and be back with you guys tomorrow afternoon. I still have a few videos I want to put out, and I'm still working on the one with good old Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. It's funny to me that not more people are aware of that locally. Like, I think the internet is very well aware. I think we're so aware that we almost think that everybody already knows. But I don't think that many people have actually seen that comment float around like we have, right? We know about it. I just don't think that locally it's as well known as it needs to be. I know, Cheryl, I'm the same way. I was always good at like science even, but when it came to math, you know, this fall I have 3 homeschooling, 3 different grades. Oh my gosh, Kiki. Aw, that's great. That is so great though. I'm glad that you put in the extra effort for the kids. And we just need more parents to step up. And I'm not saying that like, oh, parents are so horrible, they need to step up. No, I just think that a lot of times we don't know. I think we don't know. Because like I said, a lot of these apps, I had no idea what was going on with these apps. So no, Kiki, I'm so glad that you came in and we're talking. I think it's important for all of us to get our heads together and figure this out because it's a lot. It's almost like, you know, um, I mean, what do we do if we're not spreading awareness to from place to place? And I really, again, think that Haley's Law is super important to get it passed everywhere. So that way it's just, again, like a household name like the Amber Alerts. She deserves it. She deserved to have that in place. And even though it might be a little bit too, well, it is a little too late, but now I just think honoring her father's wish, her mother's wishes. I know her family is big into getting this law passed. I think that's the least we can do for her, because I feel like it was an absolute system failure, you know? So, yes, hoping for good news. I'm always praying for you, Seth, always. And thank you for being here and thank you for giving us the feedback. And I also got your emails too, so I'm gonna work on that as well. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm honored to do it. And thank you, my PTSD, and thank you guys for sharing, the personal experiences. I know it's not always easy to do that, but I think that it makes a big difference because it's something that all of us parents need to be aware of, and we need to we have to stick together. All of us parents that have, common sense, and maybe the other ones will follow suit and say, oh yeah, I remember when we used to have common sense too. Um, Brenda says if anyone runs against Craddock, they can just play your short video on the cloud. Right, exactly, Brenda. I was trying to keep well, I'll say I wasn't the only one. We were all trying to keep it about Sebastian. Otherwise, I wouldn't have minded having a sign and a big sign that said snuggle struggle on it. So yeah, Kiki, I'm with you. I really feel it's CPS money, real estate with higher ups issue thing going on with our kids, in my opinion. I think so too. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. So, um, aw, thank you. Thank you, Detroit. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And sweet dreams to you too. And thank you, little Miss Sharon. Thank you guys so much. Bo, thank you. And Kiki, Seth, thank you guys so much for being here. And oh yeah, always, always. Um, we really appreciate and love our dads that are willing to stick up for their kids the way that you guys do, the way that Seth does, the way that uh, Adam Roger Elithrope. I don't know how to say his last name. I hope I don't butcher it every single time. And then Bo Busby is Haley's dad. So Bo Busby, hats off to you, sir. Thank you for doing what you're doing for your daughter and spreading awareness. Let's push this out. These kids matter, and we need to make sure we're protecting them. Always, always protecting them, you know? So, aw, thank you, little Miss Sharon, for the super sticker. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Aw, little Miss Sharon, that's an awesome way to end out the show. You guys are great, and thank you always for your love and support. And I'll make sure I keep pushing out these videos. And even though sometimes YouTube doesn't like them, but that's okay. They can deal with it, right? Haley deserves it. They liked Haley's video. Haley's video was okay though. They didn't give me any trouble about that one. They did, however, give me a little bit of trouble, on the nasties. So, um, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Kiki. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon.